Hey viewers, guess what? Open Up with Malindi is back every Thursday, 5 p.m. Do not forget to like, to share, to subscribe, and to comment. God bless you. Greetings and welcome to another episode of Open Up with your host, Umalindi Wagasimelane. Today, I'm not alone. Again, we are talking all things young girl and orphan. And my guest today, she's young, she's beautiful, she's an orphan. She's going to take us through her journey and, fill us in as to how it is like to grow up without parents. Thank you so much for coming to the show. You can introduce yourself.
My name is Nompumelelo Zulu. I'm also known as Lelo Pineapple. I am a poetess. I am a vocalist, a motivational speaker, and the co-founder of Beauty of the Mind organization. I was born in Witbank, but I grew up in KZN, and then I moved to Sengimtala here. And yeah, I'm just glad with you invited me on your show today for me to share my story to abanye abantu abafana nami. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, Nompumelelo, Lelo, you are quite involved in so many things. But before we get into the gist of what we are going to talk about namhlanje, just take us through your journey a bit. How old were you when you lost your parents and stuff like that?
I lost my parents when I was 5. Both my mom and my dad passed on. I was raised by my grandmother, who was later diagnosed with cancer.
Sure.
So she was focused on her health and healing. She was focused on raising me and my sister because basically took my mom at that time. I did not know my dad's side of the family. It's a long story, but I did not know them until my dad came. I think I was 5.
Okay.
My dad introduced himself as my father, and then later on that month he passed on. So I didn't have a relationship with my dad's side of the family.
Sure.
So it was a matter of, God, I'm gonna lose. I was a child at I was still young, so it did not make sense at that time. But I'm just looking back at it, managing about if I lost my grandmother,
Yeah.
But the journey has been hard though. Corner is cut where I felt like, okay, this is not fair. I'm not treated fairly. Nasendly, you can say loan or my when you're banned. You understand?
Yeah.
And my grandmother at the time was going in and out of hospitals. Ngapha for 2 years, 7 years, she's the breadwinner. So Papa Batengela my Ulster, I cannot get it. I have to wait for Kokam.
Yeah.
But yeah, it has been a very bumpy road, but yeah.
Sure. And do you now have a relationship with your father's side of the family?
Funny. We have a very strong relationship with my dad's side of the family. My aunts are like me. Siyafana. I don't even feel that void.
Wow.
It's just family. They call, they check on me when I visit. It doesn't feel like actually my dad was here. No, it's still home, And I think into futhi would say is that umama kababa musaphila, my grandmother, and uyazama nje ukusivala leso space ukuthi abantwana bakasifiso mabangalambi khona abantwana
Yes.
So yeah, we have a very strong relationship. They call me all the time, we check on each other. I visit KZN every now and then. It feels like home.
Sure. You touched on something Vele that I want us to talk about, the feeling sidelined and excluded. You touched on abantwana bathola ama all stars, and when we told you must wait for month end, and sometimes you're not guaranteed ukuthi month end nayifika uzoyithola all star. How has that been for you? Ukuthi ufile sidelined, ufile ukuthi my mom is not here. If she was here, mhlambe bengizoyithola all star or something like that. The unfairness that you went through. How did you deal with it?
Well, let me just say, I'm entitled to anything. And I think I got to understand at a very young age ukuthi umhlaba ngkoloti next,
Wow.
Family doesn't owe me anything.
Sure.
If my grandmother can, she will. If she can't, she cannot. I would feel hurt sometimes with, oh, where's keeper? Oh, ngiyasala.
Yeah.
Oh, bamthengela izimpahla. Oh, ngiyasala, But then ngabona ukuthi all those things doesn't matter because I still receive the same love.
Sure.
I'm not gonna say there was a day in my life ukuthi ngiyakhala now. No, I would cry. My grandmother would hug me, and I would understand ukuthi we have nothing ending right now, and it's not always gonna be like this. And also I could see ukuthi my grandmother was trying violence usikhala sokuthi abana mama lapho, you understand. December bengizithola izimpahla zeChristmas njengawo wonke umuntu, just because I didn't get clothes phakathi nonyaka njengabanye abantwana ukuthi sekusebusika athola impahla, but I would get them December, and I know what I would get a new takey or a sneaker at that time, you know. So yeah, bebasivala nje isikhala. I didn't feel like, yeah.
That's great. I see a lot of when one would be watching your Instagram, not actually Instagram, but your TikTok and Facebook, most of our orphans, they quite bitter, you know. They feel bitter, they feel like life is not fair and this and that. Did you ever go through that where you felt life is not fair? You've lost people, you've lost your parents, you've lost the most important people in your life. Has it not actually came to that place in your life?
It had. It came to a place of getting feeling maybe I don't even deserve to be alive. You understand? I had like suicidal thoughts, and even if you're an orphan and that's or not, but at school you definitely see it when kids are having conversations about what their parents did, my birthday party and what's not, and I never got to experience that, you know. So a part of me would be like, okay, man, even if somebody hurts me, I would feel like they have a right to, because obviously you know. But yeah, I think it's a matter of telling yourself, Uguti, I'm an orphan, it's okay, but that doesn't have to stop me from doing you know. I can still be the person that I am on social media. I can produce content and nobody sees, nobody knows that I'm an orphan. Yeah.
At what age did you actually accept you orphan? Because you like, I love the fact that you said you felt good, and I'm not entitled, you know. If bakhona ukwenza bayakhona, if abakhoni abakhoni. At what age?
I think at 12. Because I think at the age of 7, grade 1 and what, those things did not make sense. But then masekamba kwesikhathi, I'm in grade 5, I'm in grade 6, and I can see that my family is literally bending their spines for me, you know. They would try ukuvala leso sikhala leso, and I was just like, these people don't even owe me, but they are doing it, you know, for me. And okay, there was a time where I just became rebellious as a child. I was like, and it got to a point where my grandmother in KZN wakhala, and she sat down with me and said, if this is the life that you're gonna live, because una 12, you're gonna be a teenager real soon, and your dad akasekho emhlabeni, as you can see, but siyazama ukuthi kusenzele if wena uzozama ukusipush or ukusideline, thina sizokuyeka, you won't have a home, you won't have a family. So that's when nami up ngathi, you know what, they don't owe me anything, and bangenzela because bayafuna, you know, they can stop nakusasa nje umuntu avuka athi I mean mali amsekami nabantwana bami, and I have to understand.
Wow. In terms of isikolo support with your studies, and it never affected you, and did you get the support that you always wanted?
Well, isikolo, I think akaze mangi-affecta kakhulu, you know. I attended public schools, so inkinga beyingekho, and transport, because at KZN isikolo besikude. I don't remember walking to school nakaiwani. My grandmother would always make sure ukuthi transport is paid for and I go to school. And bekuba nemalokera njengabanye abantwana, you know, njengoba ngisho ukuthi ekhaya basivalile leso sikhala sokuthi you don't have parents. I was never that orphan ukuthi I don't have shoes, I don't have izimpahla zesikole, I'm not jersey in winter, you know. They would try to hide that, and yeah, ngafana nabanye abantwana, so yeah, I think.
Sure. Asifike endabeni yokuthethiswa ke. Uyathethiswa, uyadisciplinwa. Has it never made you feel like, oh, so bayangithethisa because anginabazali, so they are treating me this way because anginabazali? Has it never?
It has. wafika to a point whereby utshela ukuthi mama akakushiyelanga izimali, mama akakushiyelanga ikhaya, yabo baba akakushiyelanga next, bakakushona yinja, you know, those type of things.
Oh my word.
But obviously kuzophatha kabi as umuntu, and it made me develop this hate for my biological parents. I feel like I'm still working on it. Namanje, I hated my parents. I told myself, you know, because of lezi zinto kade zenziwe. Uthola ukuthi when my mom was alive, she would do things ekhaya, she would say things ekhaya and zingabaphathanga kahle. And now that she's gone, uzokhunjuzwa wena ngamaphutha akhe. You know, even at home with your dad, it's the same thing. But I feel like it's just a matter of telling yourself that it doesn't matter. They're not here to answer. And I just have to accept.
Sure.
I'm not entitled to anything. It's okay. It's not my fault. You know, it took me a lot of time to notice it's not my fault. I just felt like, why did I not follow? You know, because angisafunda la. Ngifila ngathi angisafunda. Because like mawuthethiswa, I feel like thina sima orphans banantolo ukuthi hayi mina ngapangizisa kakhulu ukudlula abanye, you know. Hayi mina ngathi abangiphathi kahle ukudlula abanye. Mara mase ngibukisisa, it was them disciplining me as umntwana wasekhaya, you understand? Mangabe ngizoyenza into wrong, vele mele ngikhuze, but bengifila ngathi mina mele bangikhuze light, you know. Omunye mele bamshaye, bamthethise, but mina because anginabazali bangizwele, but it's a matter of telling yourself that you're not entitled to anything. Not wrong.
Ukhuluma ngendaba ukuthi you are still working on the anger towards abazali bakho. Why?
Okay, so after my mom gave birth,
okay,
and I was always my grandmother's responsibility. No mama. I don't think I have pictures with her. I have a few pictures with my mom than I have with my grandma. Okay. So namanje mom. It's hard for me to say gog. It's mama. It has always been mama. And on my dad's side, I discovered I was a mistake. I was supposed to be aborted, which is why he never came in Billionaire. Was ovela sekazongenzani sekazoshona, you know. So for me it was a matter of angithandanga ubaba mi, why mudela abantu bangithande no. So I feel like ngiyabazonda, or let me not use the word hate. But I feel like I don't like them because they never fought for me when they were still alive. Okay. So why must I say I lost my parents and cry about it when they never even loved me? Yini engenza ngicabanga ukuthi bazongithanda if they were still alive? Yini engenza ukuthi ngicabanga ukuthi my mom would still buy me the things that I would see abayi mama bathengela abantwana bazo if she was alive? What if bekazongiphatha kabi than indlela engiphathe ngayo manje yabo? So I just feel like if they never loved me when they were alive, they don't matter now.
Sure. Ukusiphi space manje? Ukusiphi space, like, have you understood ukuthi you had to be alive for a purpose? Njengoba usho ukuthi being an orphan has not affected you. You are still the same person, kuma social media networks and stuff like that. Ukusiphi space at this moment?
At this moment, I feel like I'm at peace. I have made peace with how my life turned out, and I'm just at peace, you know. And I'm trying to renounce the spirit of hatred towards my biological parents. It's hard because I say I don't believe in those things. Not because I don't believe in those things, but because I don't want to go to their graveyards particularly. You know, I'd rather go or something, but not their grave. But I feel like manje, I'm at peace. You know, I've made peace with the fact that I beg. And the questions that I have, so I should not worry myself about those things. I'm at peace. I've decided I don't hate them anymore. I don't like them, but I don't hate them anymore. And you know, but I'm just like, nah.
Yeah. Wow. So were you never a child or tandizindo growing up? I have two questions here. The first one is, awubanga umntwana who loves things, and nawubona abanye abantwana with their parents bagqoke a certain way, did you not feel somehow? And number two, when you faced rejection, or rather when you faced rejection from school and did you never feel ukuthi it is because you are an orphan?
I don't like I feel like my personality couldn't be bottled up as untwana. Even at school, I wanted to enter my extramural activities. Good debates was on taller.
Yeah.
You know, I would be there with chairs, you know, with speech in front of the crowd. I'd be there, you know, because ngiyathanda nje ukuthi imphume. And I remember noma ngathiwa we go siyahamba somewhere ngenza speech, you know, none of my family members came, none. And it got to a point ukuthi ngajwayela ukuthi okay, they don't attend such things. Mawuthi yabheka umuntu ozile, like asibangane sonke sibantwana besikolo, we are there. Uze nomzali wakhe mara she's not even gonna stand on the stage. The parent is just there ukuthi right and what's not. I was even gonna be on stage, but no one came. You understand? And I went into poetry as well. I performed guma poetry events a lot. They never came until I talked and ukuthi hayibo njalo mina mangihamba ninikeza imali yakho, but you don't ask ukuthi ngihambe njani, you know. And that's why I saw ukuthi baqala ke goes involved, because I spoke out.
Yeah.
Shoot it was just a matter of all right there. So zongifonela uyabuya, okay, and that's it. But because I spoke out and I told them ukuthi hayibo yini ngathi ngiyangilahla manje, you know, they would come. What was the second question?
Rejection.
Oh, rejection. Yeah, rejection, yo. That one, ma. So, endabeni ye-rejection, benginalento leyo ukuthi, like, I'm gonna take it back to my thought ukuthi my parents didn't love me enough. So each time I got rejected, I felt like bekufanele kwenzeke, you know. Vele kuyafana. Even my own mother couldn't love me.
Yeah.
Even my own dad couldn't accept me. So why should somebody take me along, you know? You audition for something, they don't take you. Vele, you know. I was just passive towards a rejection. I did not pay attention to it. And then I realized later it affects me. I would cry so much. I'd be depressed about it so much. You know, I'd be very passive about it. It's affecting my mind. Because umuntu ovelayo, that person is now genuine. That person really wants to help. I'm just like, near 2 weeks uzohamba, you know.
Sure.
Even if somebody says let's do this, I wanna support you, let's produce your content, let's do that, and then I'll be like okay, bese kuya futhi kuba yimi engizphula away, like ngiyazikhipha kule nto leyo because of the trust issues that have developed. I'm like obvious uzongireject, uzongineglect, uzongishiya. So ngcono mina ngizikhiphe, you know. I feel like ngizivalele neminyaka eminingi because of that. I just thought wonke umuntu ola is here to hurt me. Umuntu ola is here to reject me. Umuntu ola uzofika bese uyahamba, you know. Yeah.
So there's a lot of emotions and thoughts pertaining being an orphan, ne? And being a child, I'll take you back kancane ukuthi being a child uyathethiswa and going through rejection and all these things that you went through. Didn't you think that you went through those things because you are human, not because you're an orphan?
No.
So you treated them as, I'm going through this because I'm an orphan.
I'm an orphan.
Sure.
I think every orphan feels like that. Every child who has lost their... I feel like there is never a moment where you feel like this is happening because I'm human. I'm supposed to be hurt. I'm supposed to be rejected. And also, no. It feels like, oh, it happens to me because I don't have parents.
Sure.
I'm not able to defend. I'm not able to, you know. You have arguments with your classmates. So you have the toilet and you're crying because you're an orphan.
Yeah.
Not because the argument you're because you're wrong. One thing about us orphans, we as if we accept defeat.
Okay.
And we don't accept the fact that we are wrong when we are wrong.
Sure.
Because if you no man, no man ngabe wrong, I'm still wrong kakhulu because I'm never you know.
Yeah.
And noma ujola, you'd feel like, no, like me, I'm supposed to date, you know. I'm supposed to. Why abantu abanabazali bayajola and abazali babo they accept that these people get pregnant ngoba nabazali, and you know you just you just feel like that ukuthi nami kufanele, you know, I am no different. And njengoba ngisho ukuthi us as orphans asifuni ukuaccepta noma
sure.
It's like we are supposed to be right because we want people to feel sorry for us. We have a victim spirit, I'm not gonna lie.
Wow.
We have a victim spirit, and 9 times out of 10 you would find a home that is warm and ikhaya belizokukhulisa kahle as an orphan, but because nale mentality yokuthi ngiyintandane, you know, they can never love me right.
Sure.
And you would look for those little mistakes. Wangageza ngisitsha sakho. Oh, mina ngisigeze ngoba nginabazali. Mara ngabe usibani banosishilo bekazosukuma sigeze without me complaining, you understand? So as for ukuzwa, we have a victim spirit, but it's a matter of you working on that. It's something that you work on. I'm not gonna lie, ikhona yona. It's like a spirit that's just like hovering over us, but it's a matter of you saying it's fine, I'm not gonna let it control me. Akuthiwa ngigeze isitsha, uzosumanya sigeze, vele akekho ozongigeze, you understand? And that's it.
Sure. Yeah, we are talking all things being young and orphan. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Open Up with Umalindi. Today, I'm with a young, beautiful, intelligent girl, Unompumelelo Lelo Zulu. We are talking all things orphan because she's young and she's grown up as an orphan, and it hasn't been a good and easy journey. But before the break, you touched on indaba ye victim mentality. I think I love that the most. Uguti, as an orphan, you never take things as other people would take them. You never receive things as well as other people would receive them. I think I love that the most, and I'm taking that, you know. But there's an orphan who's listening to us, who doesn't know what to do. They don't know where to go, and they also feel uguti they are entitled, you know. Yeah, so I did not get the shoes because I'm an orphan. Vele the discipline because I'm an orphan. The way they speak to me because vele angna mama, because vele angna baba, and all of that. What would you say to an orphan who's listening to us, Manj?
I would say that stop feeling entitled. Umhlaba awukoloti next. You understand? And if you pay attention to the things that actually matters, because mina ngihlezi ngisho kubangani bami ukuthi into that doesn't matter, into that matters in 5 minutes but won't matter in the next 5 years, akufanelanga kuyakuhlupha.
Wow.
You understand?
Wow.
Whatever that I go through, whatever people say, noma endlini bazongiphazamisa kancane, it lasts for 5 minutes because I told myself it's not gonna matter in the next 5 years. And umuntu ongihlukumeza manje in the next 5 years makangasekho, let me just go through these emotions now, cry about it now, pay 5 minutes. I even make a countdown. You pay 5 minutes, I'm like, we take it back. Composure, we take it back. You understand? Because you must not feel like people owe you.
Wow.
You must not feel like people owe you. You must never make that mistake.
Sure.
Because mazolenza lelo phutha lokuthi uyakweletwa, abantu ngeke bakuthanda.
Sure.
Mina I've seen orphans angathandi. Mafika nje bathi yo,
no.
Uzokhala ke ungamkhulumisi, you understand? Mina mafika endaweni, be the bubbly spirit that you are. Ukuthi umzali akekho, it should not affect you. Ukuthi izinto zenza ngenye indlela, it should not, don't be entitled. Umhlaba koloti next and just let it rest for 5 minutes and keep moving.
Before we close, you said something before the break, Uguti. You need to actually self-develop, you know. How should one go about self-development?
Write things down. I write things down. And I make sure, Guti, I write the things that I want to fix about myself. I know I have pride. I'm going to write down pride. I know I have ego. I don't like begging. Vele mina ngakela something, Oti, you understand? And I understand Guti, it's something that I need to work on. So what I'm going to say is that write down a list of things you want to change about yourself.
Wow. Write
down the list of things you want to, okay, this is what I need to fix. This is how I need to receive messages from other people. It doesn't mean njengoba nayikhulumile so akayithathi ngalento lokuthi uyintandane man gezi sitshi, you understand, but sangalento ukuthi umntwana gezi sitshi, you understand. So you must look at indlela yena isho ngayo and actually work on how you're receiving in tabakchela at that time. I write things which attitude. I have to change it.
Yes.
So even if I want to, you said something and hey sis, you know, but I tell myself, I wrote down I'm gonna work on my attitude. So you plan and you take action. I plan on fixing myself. I'm gonna take action. I plan on changing my attitude. Kanjalo kanjalo. So write things down. They say you work on those things. Don't just write. I have pride. What about your pride? Work on your pride. Shooting Sasa, I have to say, let me just, you know, it's me working on my pride. Even in things when I shouldn't, I should have pride. I should not stoop this low. But go by, you are working on yourself. You are so ends and as you practice task. Things also I'm not supposed to, yeah, you know, so yeah, it's just that.
So being an orphan is quite a journey. And it's a tough one. I'm listening to it and I'm thinking, thank God, you know. What are your final words?
My final words to the viewers and everybody who's watching is that your mental health matters. I always say this, your mental health matters. Because in Tomabuzo Itata, we are yak. So the negative words that you speak, the negative words that you whisper to yourself, Angna mama, so I don't deserve to be loved. Angna in, you know, Angna in, it's what grows. So kuluma amagama wokupila over your life. Now I love saying I manifest.
Yeah.
You know, at times I feel like, I don't have parents, but I'm blessed.
Yeah.
It's what I say. I know it's wrong, but it builds me. You know, I say I'm worthy, and even if I'm in a position and feel like I don't deserve to be here, I tell myself I deserve to be here just as much as everyone here. They have parents, I don't, but I also deserve to be here. You understand? They pay for their school fees. I am sponsored by the government. It's okay. You understand? They paid for their clothes. It's okay, but I deserve to be here as everybody else. So I have that mentality. So yeah, good.
Wow, profound. Thank you so much, Mpumi, for coming to open up and opening up about your journey as an orphan. We truly appreciate. You know what I love about Open Up is that we are talking real life issues and with people who have experienced things that they talk about. So if you are at home and you feel Oguti, you know what, I'm an orphan, they don't treat me right, you've heard it for yourself. So she has come to inspire you today. So this is the end of the show and we thank you so much for viewing. So do not forget to subscribe, to like, to share and to comment. We love you so much. Until next time, God bless you.